The American dream, a vision of prosperity, success, and upward mobility, has long been a cornerstone of American identity. But today, this dream appears to be shrinking, with many Americans adjusting their aspirations to align with new economic realities. Owning a home has long been the heart of the American dream. A roof over your head, a place to call your own. It's the ultimate symbol of security, stability, and success. Research even shows homeowners experience less stress than renters. Plus, let's not forget the financial perks. Building equity over time sounds ideal, right? But here's the catch. Today's homes don't look quite like the dream we once envisioned. Forget the big yard or the white picket fence. Many Americans now live in homes that are quite literally shrinking. In 2013, the median size of a new single-family home was about 2,460 square feet. By 2015, that number peaked at 2,470 square feet, then started to shrink. Fast forward to 2023, and that figure has dropped to about 2,180 square feet. And it's not just size, layouts are changing too. According to the National Association of Home Builders, the number of homes with just 2 bedrooms or fewer has hit a decade high. Meanwhile, homes with 4 bedrooms are at their lowest levels since 2012. Smaller homes aren't necessarily a bad thing. Housing advocates argue that smaller homes could help meet the growing demand for housing by increasing supply. But there's a harsh reality. Americans are now paying more for less. In the same period that homes have been shrinking, prices have skyrocketed. In 2016, the median price per square foot was $127. By 2024, that jumped to $224. For perspective, that's nearly $100 more per square foot. It's no wonder that the typical American now needs to work 110 hours a month just to afford their mortgage. Housing costs are eating up more income than ever before. A house is just a house until there are people in it. Only then, they say, does it become a home. But here's the thing, American homes are getting quieter. Fewer people are living in them, and that picture-perfect, lively household, it's becoming harder to find. Today, more single people are buying homes, which is great news. But the sound of babies' feet pattering down the halls? Not so much. The share of home buyers without kids under 18 in their homes just hit a record 75%. Yep, you heard that right, 75%. This lines up with a bigger trend. Americans are having fewer kids. Back in 1960, the average woman in the US had about 4 children. Fast forward to 2022, and that number has dropped to just 1.7. So what's going on? Well, for starters, it's hard. If you think home ownership is tough, try doing it while raising kids. Rising housing costs alone make it feel impossible. Add skyrocketing childcare costs and the loss of those it-takes-a-village social connections, and it's no wonder fewer people are taking the plunge into parenthood. At the same time, more Americans are openly embracing a child-free life. Dinks, double-income, no-kid couples are living their best lives, and culturally, the idea of skipping kids has never been more acceptable. But here's the thing. Just because it's harder or more acceptable to forgo kids doesn't mean people are giving up on starting families. Many Americans still want kids. They're just finding it completely out of reach. Karen Benjamin Guzzo, a professor at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, says having kids is often seen as the final step in achieving the American dream. Think about it. You go to college, get a good job, get married, buy a house, then fill it with kids. But there's a problem. Every step along the way has become less predictable, less achievable. Guzzo's research reveals that many Americans still expect to have kids, but it comes with a giant asterisk. They'll have kids if they can find a good partner, if they can afford childcare, if their job offers family leave, the list goes on. As Guzzo puts it, people need to feel confident about the next 25 years of their lives and the world their kids will grow up in. Right now in the US, we're just not doing a great job of giving people that confidence. So, what does this all mean? Homes are quieter, parenthood is harder, but the desire to start families, it's still there, waiting for a world that makes it possible again. Back in 1990, the average commute to work was 22.4 minutes one way. By 2023, that number crept up to 26.8 minutes. Big deal, you say? Well, those extra minutes add up. That's nearly 4.5 hours a week spent commuting, or if you're keeping track, 10 full days a year. And even if you're lucky enough to work from home a few days a week, those 3 in-office days still suck up almost 6 full days a year behind the wheel. But here's the kicker. Every extra minute of commute time doesn't just eat up your schedule, it eats away at your happiness. Research shows that longer commutes lower job satisfaction and your ability to actually enjoy free time. Plus, for most Americans, that commute happens by car, and we all know what traffic does to your mental health and your sleep. Now, why is this happening? As more Americans chase the dream of homeownership, they're moving further from urban centers to find bigger, cheaper houses. But those young families who flee to the outer edges of suburbia, they're paying for it in hours lost to commutes. Want that dreamy, affordable house? Great. Just don't mind the hours you'll spend in traffic to afford it. But let's not stop at commutes. Living the American dream also means taking a break, right? Unwinding, traveling, and escaping the grind. Unfortunately, even though more Americans have access to paid vacation, fewer are actually taking it. In July 1980, over 10 million Americans were on vacation. Fast forward to the height of the pandemic, that number was cut in half. And even post-2020, as things return to normal, the number of workers taking vacations in July has flatlined. So while we technically have the option to relax, many of us just aren't doing it. So here's the big question. Is the American dream still about living your best life or just surviving the daily grind? Whether it's sitting in traffic or skipping your vacation, it seems like the dream is costing us more than ever.